folks, this is Tony here, and I'm going to give you my take on the student loan repayment situation where President Trump and Education Secretary McMahon are resuming the requirements that people with student loans have to start making those payments, despite the fact that under the Biden presidency, they paused those. Now, let me just be brutally honest. You guys were deceived. You guys were tricked because Joe Biden knew that he did not have the constitutional authority to forgive your loan, yet he gave you a false sense of comfort to try to help his re-election campaign. And you saw how that went for both him and his vice president. So I hope that you take that and understand how badly Democrats will treat you. They don't care about you. I'm not saying Republicans are angels, but you should never vote Democrat again just based on that alone. Now, a lot of the younger people are feeling a lot of passion, pain, anger about having to resume your loan payments. Trust me, I understand. I had student loans and I paid them off. But you know what? It wasn't an easy road. It sucked. It wasn't fun. And I would not recommend taking out student loans to anybody for any reason whatsoever. Let's just be brutally honest about that. Let me tell you a little bit about my story so you kind of know where I'm coming from. You know, I have every excuse in the world why I should not have had to pay my loans back. I grew up in an abusive household. My father wasn't in my life. My mother was abusive. Grew up without the financial stability, all of that stuff. And on top of that, when this is who you really should be mad at. Pay attention to this part. All of those people who sell the standardized tests, you know, the ACTs, the SATs, the College Board type people who will go around to high schools like they did to mine and show the chart that says people with a degree will make X amount of dollars over the course of their life if they go to college versus the person without the degree. That's deceptive marketing. You know why? Because they don't talk about debt to income ratio. They don't talk about the inflation and whether or not that money is worth what it was when you graduated from college. They don't talk about any of the risk incurred, and they don't segregate it by degree program, at least not when I saw it. So let's just think about the entire industry. Professors make money off of you paying the tuition. The college administrators make money off of you paying the tuition. And then on top of that, the people that sell the ACTs and the SATs and all of those entrance exams, they also make money off of you. So they take your hope of your future and use it as a marketing tool to sell you debt. That's exploitation. That is predatory, especially because they market it to young people who aren't even adults yet. If they can't advertise cigarettes to kids, if they can't advertise beer to kids, they should not be able to advertise crippling debt to young people either. That stuff should be illegal. Get rid of it. On the flip side, I know you don't want to think about this, but there's a good chance if you're one of these people who is saying that, well, I'm never going to be able to pay my loan back. It's not fair that I should have to pay it back. I think you have someone else that does deserve some blame in general, and that's your parents. Because let's think about it. What kind of parent says to their child, when you turn 18, I'm done taking care of you. I don't care what you do. Go get in six-figure debt, whatever, just give me as the parent the credibility and bragging rights of being able to say I have a child with a degree. That's not right. That's also exploitative. So you have a generation of parents who decided it was acceptable for their kids to be in crushing debt just so they can walk around with the brownie points of being able to say they raised a scholar, they raised someone in college. Parents need to take a second look. And parents, if you want that bragging right, you be the one that take out the loan. I think that going forward, first of all, the government should not be doing student loans, period, because that's state subsidized gambling. But even if you are going to do student loans, it should not be the child that takes out the loan. It should be the parent. Because parent, if you want the credibility of saying that you raised a college kid, actually put some skin in the game. Don't just toss your kid out to the wolves, because guess what? When you get too old, after that kind of attitude, they're going to toss you in a nursing home. And that kind of reckoning could be coming if the parents of this debt generation don't help them dig themselves out of it. That's very important. I had a coworker one time who she was bragging about how her kid is going off to college and said, oh, now that he's off to college, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And I asked her, I said, well, what about his tuition? How's that going to get paid for? And she was like, oh, he'll take loans. That's on him to pay it off. But wait a minute, who's in charge? The parent is. Who told the kid to go get in that debt? The parent did. So who should probably be the one paying it back? The parent. That's why from a policy decision, Secretary McMahon, if you're listening, if you can't shut down student loans altogether, you should rearrange them, add a new federal rule that says that the parent has to be a co-signer or a guarantor on the loan, such that if the kid is unable to pay, it defaults to garnishing the parent's wages, garnishing the parent's federal government salary or 401k or Social Security or whatever it is that you have to take. Because it should not just be young people left high and dry, holding the bags, while the older generation goes on vacations that they don't need and buy stuff that they're not even going to be able to fully enjoy. So we do have to get back to family building, because honestly, most of college isn't even necessary. How did I pay off my student loans? Very simple. Living a very boring life. I haven't been to the movies in 15 years or so? Oh well. My wife and I have not been to a nice restaurant in God knows how long. It's been over a decade. We went to Chipotle 5 times since we lived a very boring life. I haven't been to the movies. Well, most of the stuff is woke garbage anyway, but I haven't been to the movies in 15, 16 years, just about. And every tax refund I got, I pretty much threw it at the loan. I even threw the COVID stimulus checks at my student loan. And you know what? A couple years ago, I paid it off. It's a long, boring road. This jacket I'm wearing is from the thrift store. That should give you a picture of how frugal I have had to be. I only get new glasses 1 time a year, even though this has a scratch and I need to get a new one. What's my point? My point is that you will have to make sacrifices to pay back your loan, but be encouraged. If I, with all the excuses in the world, can do it, so can you. And when you're on the other side of it, you'll feel victory. Not only that, you'll take with you the wisdom of what it means to pay off your debts, and you won't put your children in the same situation. Please think about what I have to say, and have a blessed day, everybody.